Well, hey y'all, it's Superior Lovery with Superior's by Designs. I'm here going to make a Valentine's Day centerpiece for my table for the entire month of February. I like to have a theme for my tablescape, and so I'm just going to make a centerpiece using a colander from the Dollar Tree. Now this is a Betty Crocker colander, and it's already in a circular shape, so I like that idea. I used to use this colander for my dog who passed away last year. He had a sensitive stomach, so I would rinse all of the gravy off of his canned meat dinners and give it to him without the gravy. So I'm going to go ahead and repurpose this. This would be a good way for me to remember him by each year. So my idea was to take some Dollar Tree roses and kind of stick the stems through these little holes. Now the roses at the Dollar Tree are few and far between, with it being Valentine's Day coming up here, and some of them don't look exactly like roses. So I went to Amazon and found a package of red roses. Here is a close-up of what they look like, and I can see the leaves on them look pretty realistic. Now the stems on these are pretty thick, so I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get them down in the holes of the colander, but I'm going to try. I also found a package of cute little sparkly roses in the Dollar Tree that I may be able to incorporate into this arrangement. So if you'd like to see how my Valentine's Day centerpiece turns out, then please keep on watching. So as I mentioned earlier, the stems on these roses are really thick. So I'm going to go in with my shears and try to cut this right along one of the little grooves here. I'm hoping that it comes off. Okay, so I was able to snip that off. Here's what I'm left with. So it's not really that easy to push this thick stem through this plastic hole, but if you apply a lot of pressure, you can get it through there. So I have just taken the stem of the rose and just kind of pulled it through. And I may not be able to get it just flush on the colander, so I may just take the rose off and just hot glue it. Now this will work perfectly if you do have the Dollar Tree roses with the slimmer stems on it, and you can pull yours all the way through. So what I decided to do is take the entire stem off of the rose, and I can just push it through one of the holes here. And then I'm going to go back in with a little bit of hot glue around there to support that hole. So I've gotten 3 roses onto the colander, and I like the way it looks. It looks pretty good so far. I have 12 roses in all, so hopefully I can get this to look a lot more fuller. So here's my progress thus far, and I'm around to the back of the colander now. And I decided what I was going to do is just go ahead and take the stem off of the rose and then just kind of flatten it at the bottom so I can get the most glue here so that it could stick to the colander a lot better. So I'm just going to go in with my glue gun and just put on some glue here. Then I'm going to take the rose and just kind of mash it onto the colander there, pressing firmly and opening up the rose as I go. Okay, y'all, so I have finished the entire perimeter of my calendar, and this is how it's looking. And then for that Betty Crocker, you can always just kind of pull these petals down so that won't show if you wanted to go ahead and glue them down to that so that that Betty Crocker won't show through there. You can do that. Now you can see that the colander is flat up here, at the surface, at the top of it. So this is where you can get really creative. If you wanted to add some other things besides roses, you can do that. So for instance, I have this little glitter heart here. If I wanted to kind of glue that down in the middle there and put something else there, I could do that. I could also use the stems from the roses to kind of fill in the extra spaces if I wanted to do that. I can kind of poke those down in there all the way around and then just leave enough space in the middle for another rose and just fill in this area with all of the green little leaves. That's also an option. Another option is just to take your little glitter roses that you got from the Dollar Tree. It has a little clip on them. So if you wanted to use those and clip them onto the edges of the petals that are already on the colander, you can do that. That's also an option. You can also take a heart and kind of glue it upwards so that it's standing up. That is also an option for you if you wanted to put several hearts all the way around. So I decided to fill in some of my empty spaces with some greenery. So I'm just taking a little bit of the hot glue, just kind of putting a little bit on the edge of the stem here and sticking it down behind each rose. Here is a look at how my centerpiece turned out for Valentine's Day. I really love it. I love all of the different textures in there, and I love that the fact that it's round. It looks really good, in my opinion. I didn't pay a lot of money for it, and I like the fact that it's uniquely made for me. I didn't pick it up in a store or anything like that. I think it turned out lovely, and I can't wait to display it for Valentine's Day. I want to take this time to say thank you all so much for tuning in to watch my Valentine's Day table centerpiece video, and stay tuned for more content.